Welcome, football fans. It's week 18, final week in the NFL. Here's the Sunday games. Pretty much all the games are on Sunday this week. No Monday night football, no Thursday night football. We already got a couple Saturday games behind us. So we have Cleveland Browns at Cincinnati Bengals. Cincinnati, despite being eliminated from playoff contention, favored by 7. I will start with Mr. Tony Parlay Reyes. Talk to us about Browns versus Bengals.
It seems like a large spread, but like you said, the Browns they're safely in the playoffs. The Bengals have been eliminated. Jake Browning maybe is out there auditioning, proving that maybe he can get on that Gardner Minshew train and get a starting opportunity somewhere. I mean, I don't know if he's good enough to be a starter. I doubt it. I think that the lack of good starting quarterbacks has elevated a lot of bad ones this year and distorted the view on them. But I can see them playing well for their last home game, and it is a rivalry game with Cleveland. Cleveland not having much to play for with that playoff berth already locked up. I think the Bengals go ahead and win. 7 seems like a lot, but I think maybe they go ahead and rout them.
Yeah, I think the Browns, they're probably looking forward to the playoffs, like something that I don't even know if they imagined happening with some of the things happening at the beginning of the season. But no, I think at the very least, like, Bengals want to come in here, disrupt a divisional opponent, and get out of end of the season with a win. Disappointing season. And then, yeah, to Tony's point, like, I don't think Jake Browning's starting QB. If he was a starting QB, the Bengals would be in the playoffs right now. So yeah, I'm with Tony. Give me the Bengals in this game. That leaves us with Nicholas J. Kerr. Talk to us about Browns and Bengals.
I mean, I agree with a lot of the points you guys were just making on there because the Browns, they really have nothing to play for. But as we've seen with this team all year, it doesn't matter who's playing at quarterback and who's starting for them. They just find ways to win and stay competitive. So I think that it might be a little bit too many points. The Bengals probably do still win this, but I think it's going to be a close game going down to the end.
Fair. Like, yeah, but 7 points is a lot for a team that's not playing for anything. But, yeah, wouldn't be surprised. Divisional matchup, so opportunity for Nick to finally get above 50% in the season standings.
Yeah.
Next up, game we want to touch on a little bit, we have Minnesota Vikings, who have not gotten their ticket punched. Basically, this is a win and you're in game for them, I believe, against the Detroit Lions, who have locked up the division. So they're not necessarily playing for much, but they're favored by 3.5 points. Kick it off to Tony on this one as well. Talk to us about Vikings Lions.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what the Vikings are on offense. It really seems like they're struggling without that quarterback situation figured out. Jaren Hall, really, really bad last game. The Lions, 3.5 points at home with nothing much to play for with that playoff spot already locked up. Feels like the Vikings at least keep this within a field goal. Like you said, they have a chance at the playoffs if things break right for them. That's pretty much the only reason I'm picking the Vikings. I think that they can go ahead and cover the 3.5 point spread.
All right. I'm in agreement with you, Tony. Like I think the Lions will win this game. It's that half-point hook that does it for me. I've seen enough of these NFC North games where they play weird and close to the end and somebody has to win on a field goal. I think that's exactly what will happen in this game. Lions win by a field goal. Minnesota covers. Nick, how about yourself? Vikings or Lions?
I'm going to stay on my lonely island here and go with the Lions because I think they're still just mad at the world after what happened last week. They still have a shot at the number 2 seed, so I think that they try to take that out on the Vikings this week, win this game by a touchdown.
Rightfully so. Nick, did you make sure you checked in with the officials before you made that statement?
I did.
Were you eligible to make that statement?
The NFL will put out a release. There you go. The Cowboys finally got a break. Watch out. Who knows what'll happen next?
Yep. All right, next game we'll go through quick. We have the Jags and Titans. Titans have been eliminated. Jags favored by 3.5 points. basically this is a win in their end game for them as well. They also need to win by they also need to win this game to win the division. Sorry. Apparently Zoom wants to do an upgrade right in the middle of our recording, so good time to do that, Zoom. Glad we pay for your services. Nick, Jags or Titans?
I'm taking the Jags.
All right, Tony.
Give me the Titans. I've seen enough of the Jags.
Yeah, same as that Detroit game. I didn't like that half-point hook. I think Jags win this game. Titans end up covering, though. I think Jags only win this by a field goal. Moving forward. Jets eliminated versus Patriots eliminated in Foxborough. Patriots favored by 1.5 points. Nick?
I'm going to go the Pats in this one. Probably Bill Belichick's final game with the Patriots, going out against the team he left to come to the Patriots.
Thank God. Good riddance to the Jets. Good riddance to New England and Bill Belichick. I'm going with the Pats. Tony?
Same. Belichick hates the Jets. He'll make sure the Patriots are well coached for that last game that he's there. I agree with Nick. That'll be his final send-off in New England.
All right. Next up, we have Falcons at Saints. The division still very much in flux as to who's going to win this division and make that playoff appearance. New Orleans favored by 3 points in this one. Start out with myself. I don't want to talk about this game, but it's still has some implications as to potentially who could win this division. I think if the Saints win, they win the division. Whereas I think if the Falcons win, they would still need the Buccaneers to lose.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken.
Something like that.
Yeah, so the Bucs would have to win, and the Saints would have to lose. The Bucs win the division. Yay. No, give me Tampa Bay in this one. That Panthers team sucks. Yeah, this could be 44.5 points, and I think I'd still pick the Bucs. I'm tired of picking the Panthers this year. That's why I have a losing record. It's solely because of the fucking Panthers. Tony.
I think the Panthers win this weekend. Put me on my lonely island on that one here. I think the Panthers go ahead and win this weekend. I think it's running out of steam. Baker doesn't look too healthy. I think he wasn't practicing, some rib injury this week. I think the Panthers upset the Bucs, and I think that they go ahead and upset the Bucs. That NFC South is won by the Saints. Actually, that's what I've got going on with them.
Right. Nick, how about yourself?
All right, that was a little confusing getting in there. You started with Falcons Saints, and then you picked Panthers Bucs, but I'm gonna go Saints and Bucs.
I did. That's great times. Yes, I'm picking New Orleans. I'm also picking Tampa Bay. God, I fucking hate the NFC South. I never want to watch one of these games ever again. And I hope whoever gets the playoffs gets blown out. Can we at least agree on that?
Yeah.
All right.
No,
Yeah.
I don't know. It depends on who they play.
I mean, they're going to be playing that 5 seed, so I realistically think that could happen because it's going to be Philadelphia if everything goes right. Philadelphia will be the 5 seed.
That shows Tony's cards now. He just wants one of ththese teams to upset Philly.
Would you be surprised?
No,
yes,
not at all.
Yes,
I really
would be. Yes, I would be.
I mean, I think the Bucs and Eagles and Saints are all pretty similar teams. They all are pretty even, if you ask me. I wouldn't be surprised if any of those teams came out of that 4-5 game.
No, I don't like it. Don't.
I mean, did you watch the Eagles game last week against the Cardinals?
Unfortunately, yes.
So you should know the Eagles aren't good.
Yeah, they aren't. They're a fraud. Said it all last year, and now it finally comes true this season. Yay,
It was
me.
true last year too. We saw the Super Bowl.
All right, a game with some playoff implications. The Bears, who've been eliminated, going against the Packers in Green Bay. Green Bay favored by 3 points in this one. I'll start with myself again. Hopefully I don't get confused on this one. I'm going with Chicago. I think the Bears are going to want to come out and spoil the Packers season, especially after the abuse the Bears have gotten at the hands of the Packers the last few years. Like, yes, it's not Aaron Rodgers, but still just as good if you can fuck up the Packers whole season. So give me the Bears in this one, who have been playing surprisingly well as of late. Tony?
Yeah, man, I'm right there with you. I think the Bears are going to upset the Packers as well. I mean, it just seems like it. They're following that same blueprint that Lions team was following last year. They're literally in that exact same game, the winning in game, and trying to keep this Packers team from the playoffs. And I feel like Jordan Love maybe has proven that he's the starter, but I don't know if they're actually there yet as a team. They did almost lose to the Panthers, one of your favorite teams, in overtime a couple weeks ago. We had that whole Jair Alexander debacle. So I'm not sure if the Packers are all in line. That defense has got a lot to learn. I think Justin Fields is auditioning to be a starter. He goes all out. They try and do everything for him, and I think the Bears do win this game.
All right. I like everything you're saying. Nick, Bears or Packers?
I'm going to take the Packers. I do like a lot of what you're saying, but I just think Jordan Love has cemented himself as the Packers quarterback of the future, at least right now. Because this year he had 34 touchdowns, 11 interceptions, which most teams will take those kind of numbers. I just think with this game, Lambeau Field, January, I can't even remember what month it is anymore, or year. I just think Jordan Love and this Packers team just takes care of it at home.
Boo. Boo.
Yeah, boo.
I want to see Jordan Love be successful. All right. Next up, we have Broncos versus the Raiders in Las Vegas. Both teams eliminated. Vegas favored by 2.5 points. Nick, I'll start with you on this one.
Sorry, Chris, but I'm going to take the Raiders in this one. They've just shown more heart over the last half of the season under Antonio Pierce, so I'm going to take them here because the Broncos backup quarterback, they have nothing to play for. If this game was at home, I might take the Broncos, but I'm going to take the Raiders.
Tony?
Yeah, I agree with Nick. I think that they're all going to be coached up for Antonio Pierce. They know that could possibly be his last game. They seem like they're a lot more in sync and alignment than the Broncos are with everything that was going on with the locker room and the Russell Wilson situation earlier. I think the Raiders win this game.
I'm on a lonely island. I think Broncos, they'll come out and win this game. Stidham gets revenge on the team that didn't keep him. Broncos get a winning season out of this. They also break the streak against losing to the Raiders, which I think is at 7 or 8 at this point. So still a lot of things for the Broncos, I think, to play for as well, just as much as the Raiders playing for Antonio Pierce. So give me the Broncos, winning season, improvement on last year. At least Sean Payton can go to the offseason with that things were better this season than the last one. So next up, we have Eagles at Giants. Eagles have locked up a playoff. Thanks for the interruption, Zoom. I guess they didn't want us talking about Eagles and Giants, but here we are, ever stubborn. All right, got the Philadelphia Eagles, who have locked in a playoff spot against the New York Giants, who have been eliminated from playoff contention. I believe the Eagles still playing for some playoff seeding implications. They're favored by 4.5 points. Nick, I'll start with you on this one. Philly or New York?
Yeah, Philly still has that outside chance of winning the division, so I think they're going to be playing for this game. I'm going to take Philly in this just because I think they might finally get it together, but they have a chance against this lowly Giants team.
I'm in agreement with you, Nick. Although Philly stumbled as of late, I think that Giants' stumbles have been a little bit greater, and I think they're kind of backpedaling into the offseason with questions about Daniel Jones, having to rock with Tyrod Taylor. It just, nothing really seems good over there in the Meadowlands. So give me the Eagles in this one. Tony, oh no, Lonely Island. Tell us why you're picking Philly. Hopefully Zoom doesn't cut us off again.
4.5 points seems like too much for the Eagles. Like I was saying, that team is reeling 1-4 in their last 5 games. Like Philly fans were calling Nick Sirianni a coordinator merchant. I think that they're going to go ahead and bench their players midway through the first half. They're going to be scoreboard watching, maybe the Cowboys Commanders game a little bit, but I don't think they're even going for the division. I think Sirianni's job might be on the line if they don't win that first round playoff game. Things are not looking good for the Eagles. This is exactly what happened with Carson Wentz and Doug Peterson. I'm watching it happen all over again with Jalen Hurts and Nick Sirianni. Like Shane Steichen's having all this success elsewhere. Looks like the Cardinals and Jonathan Gannon are actually having some success as well. So I don't really know what Nick Sirianni did over there or what his strength is for them. So I'll take the Giants to go ahead and cover and win this game because I don't think the Eagles were going to go ahead and play full out for this game. They're going to go ahead and start prepping for the playoffs.
All right. Next on the list, we have Seahawks, who potentially could still get into the playoffs, against division rival Arizona Cardinals, who have been eliminated. Seahawks favored by 3 points despite being on the road. Tony, I'll kick it back to you on this one.
This was a tough one, man. I know the Cardinals are feeling themselves after that upset of Philly, and 3 points at home. I'll go ahead and take the home dog. I think Kyler wants to continue to show that he is the answer at quarterback, and I think Gannon wants to continue to show that he's the coach and continue to build that chemistry. I think the Cardinals win this game at home. I think they go ahead and they cover the 3 points and they win this game at home. I think the Seahawks are running out of gas with Geno and that whole offense. I think, to be honest, they move on from Geno in the offseason.
I'm in complete agreement with you, Tony, in a lot of different ways there. Like, I think as much grief as we gave Jonathan Gannon at the beginning of the season about having that fire in your belly and taking the bus to work, like, I like what that guy's selling over there in AZ, and it seems like players are responding to it as well. I mean, they've been playing very competitively in games that really don't matter to them. And so I think Cardinals, in terms of this game, you'd think they're not playing for anything. I think they want to play for the opportunity to upset that for the Seahawks of them making the playoffs and going into the offseason with a positive outlook. It seems like they're going to keep Kyler Murray from all indications. So, yeah, I like what the Cardinals are doing, and I think they're going to continue this. And to Tony's point, like, I don't like what the Seahawks are doing, and I think they're going to part ways with Geno Smith. Nick, that leaves us with you. Seahawks or Cards?
I didn't prepare anything like you guys because this is one of the crap games we were going to talk about, so I'm just picking Seahawks.
It's still a crap game. Like, we're not gonna dispute that.
No arguments here.
Yeah. I believe what was it? Brevity is the soul of wit. So thank you, Nick. Next up, Chiefs, who have locked in their division against the Chargers, who've been eliminated. Chargers favored by 3.5 points in this one. I'll start with myself. As I've said with a couple other games, it's just that half-point hook that I don't like. Chiefs most likely aren't going to be playing a lot of their starters, but the Chargers, they haven't had a lot of their starters in how many weeks? So, this is effectively a college game. But no, give me Chargers to cover. Still think Chiefs win. Tony?
Complete agreement, man. Chargers to cover, Chiefs win.
Nick?
I'll be on the Lonely Island. I think the Chiefs backups are better than the Chargers backups. I'll take the Chiefs win. And the points.
Hey, Nick, again, I agree with you. All right, next up, we have Rams, who have locked in a playoff spot against the Niners, who've locked in the number 1 seed in the NFC. San Francisco, who's not going to play a lot of their starters. Rams probably not going to play a lot of their starters either. But San Fran favored by 4 points in this one. Tony, I'll start with you.
Weird one, man. Carson Wentz versus Sam Darnold. For some reason, I have more faith in Carson Wentz and the Rams. I don't know why. I can't really explain it. So I'll take the Rams in the 4 points, and I think the Carson Wentz leads them to a win. I got nothing, man. I got nothing for you.
I should have done a flipping it on this game. I don't know what the motivation is for either of these teams. It just kind of seems, it's like that fourth preseason game back when of just what do we do? What do I do with my hands?
Yeah.
I don't know Rams. I don't know Niners. Nick, Rams or Niners?
Yeah, I'll stay on the lonely island here, thinking that the Niners backups are better than the Rams backups. Take the Niners.
Yeah, I'm not gonna disagree with you, Nick.
Could be right.
All right, final crapshoot game of these Sunday afternoon games. Cowboys, who locked in a playoff spot, they win this game. They win the division against the Commanders, who, dear Lord, the way they've finished off the season, they were eliminated a long time ago. Biggest spread by far this weekend. Dallas favored by 13 points here. Tony, we'll start with you.
Yeah, man. I think that the Commanders played tough for like a quarter, maybe a half for Ron Rivera. Like it's going to be his last game. I don't imagine that he's coming back next year. And the issues at quarterback, be it Sam Howell, Jacoby Brissett. I mean, I think that the players know a new quarterback is coming as well. I don't think that the Commanders play full strength for the whole game, whereas I think the Cowboys are going to want to make a statement after that close game against the Lions, and they play full strength, and they will lock up the 2 seed to try and get the home playoff games. Seems pretty easy. I think the Cowboys win this by 2 touchdowns pretty easily.
Yeah, you'd think at first glance this is way too big of a spread, but it really isn't. Like, I cannot stress enough how bad the Commanders have been here at the tail end of the season. Like, they've been Panthers bad, really. And Sony's point, like, I don't think they're gonna play for Ron Rivera. I don't think those players necessarily like Ron Rivera. I think he's gonna be gone this offseason. I think all those QBs that they have in that QB room, they're gonna be gone this offseason. I think you're gonna see a lot of other high priced players gone this offseason. So as far as I'm concerned, the Commanders, like, they're booking trips to Cancun and Cabo and all that. They don't give 2 fucks about this game. So give me Dallas. Nick?
I'm taking Dallas too. I agree with a lot of the things you guys are saying, and I'm going to keep with my theme. Dallas's backups are better than Washington's starters. So,
Nick, again, we agree with you.
Yep.
Oh. All right, that's the end of the Sunday games. That's the end of the regular season. Well, not quite. We still got a Sunday night football game we'll talk about, but we're almost there. So thanks for joining us. Catch us for that Sunday night football game. Game of the week by far. Bills at Dolphins. We'll get more in depth on that game without having to talk about all these other crap games. So check it out there. For the Sports Buds, I'm Chris Billings. For Nick Kerr, Tony Parlay Reyes. Everyone have a good weekend.
Thanks for watching the Sports Buds. Be sure to like, follow, and subscribe.